Well, hey guys, it's Colin with Legendary Habitat. I'm back up here on our farm, just wrapping up the season here, and starting on some different habitat projects. Hope everybody's been doing well and had a great Christmas. And so I wanted to come up here, and I'm developing a new section of the farm. This is basically about a 70 or 80 yard wide easement that runs on the back side of our property in between two neighbors. And so what I'm doing here is I'm developing this into basically a big travel corridor, or a buck sneak trail as many people call it. So I want to encourage a lot of movement coming into one of my favorite stands here on the property. That's basically a big hub, converging hub. And I got a lot of bedding over here to the west of me. And the whole design here is I want these mature bucks to feel comfortable in daylight hours running through this travel corridor, heading down to a lot of these small micro staging plots before they lead out into destination food. So, you know, as I keep hunting this property, keep developing it, I keep making minor changes and tweaks. This is a project I've been wanting to do for, you know, a year or 2 years now, and been looking at a lot of intel throughout the season, whether it be trail camera or hunting observation intel, and I keep tweaking, you know, little things within my plan, and creating this travel corridor I think is going to add a lot more daylight mature buck activity heading into one of my favorite stands. It's set up for a west-northwest wind, which is a really predominant wind up here on our farm, so should set up really good. We're going to fire up the chainsaw and take down a lot of these aspen. We got some autumn olive in here. As you can see, it's a real nice scrape right here. They've been tearing up this licking branch all year. And then I got a couple other trees in here. I got some green ash. We got some bush honeysuckle and some vases I'm going to be taking care of too. So we'll give you a couple shots along the way, and hopefully get some timber on the ground. So this one thing I tell a lot of guys, when you're out cutting in your timber, you start cutting through a couple trees. This is an ash tree right here, and you can see the growth rings on this. And once it gets out to here, where this tree was getting older, you can see these growth rings start really shortening up. You can see back here when it was, you know, 10, 15 years old, and this tree was probably coming on, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old out here. And you can see the growth rings are getting a lot tighter. I mean, the tree's getting real stressed, and because it's not getting enough sunlight typically. Where this tree was actually bigger, and it was eating up more nutrients, and you can see these growth ring gaps are a lot wider all the way out, just about until I cut it. So just something to keep in mind. That also will depend on how the tree will hinge. You can see this ash hinged pretty well. This will probably end up staying alive. Keep providing a bunch more food and browse, kind of keeping this wall alive. So just something to keep in mind when you're out cutting. All right, so I just want to give a little follow-up as to where we're at. We're about right in the middle of this travel corridor, and this travel corridor is probably about a quarter mile long. And so I've cut a lot back in the timber here, a lot of aspen, stuff like that, and I'll give you a couple shots of that. And then we're kind of leading down into this more open ground, and so I wanted to give an example of what I'm going to do here in this open ground for this situation. So over here I've got another a neighbor that I want to put a wall of cover down the property line here to promote those deer to parallel this property line. A lot of them are running perpendicular to them right now. So I'm taking all these autumn olive, anything like that, I'm laying those all over. And then I'm actually going to leave this side on the ag side open because a lot of deer, there's an old orchard over here. A lot of deer come from this hayfield, come over here, and I want them to hit this edge and then use this edge and follow it all the way down. So that's just kind of what I'm doing here. I'm also probably going to incorporate some miscanthus grass into here as kind of fill in some areas that I don't have any actual material to help to screen this off and kind of create more of an edge in these open areas. So yeah, I'm using the material that I've got here, and then I'm also going to go through here and get rid of some of this grass. I'm going to plant my clover, chicory, alfalfa blend in here, and I want to give these deer exactly what they want in these areas. And this grass really isn't doing much for me. You know, as you can see, we're late December right now, and most of it's all laid over. It's not providing any food and really any cover value either. So